Hi everyone, welcome to Introduction to Word 2019. Go ahead and open the Word web report and you should have an area on the bottom to go ahead and open the file. And you will probably need to enable the editing so that you can actually work on it. So that's agreeing that you accept who this is from. It's safe file. So what we're going to do is go over the different navigation of the window in Word. Up at the top, you'll notice the name of the file is in Introduction to Word Web Report. And this is Word, and it's in blue, so that'll indicate that you're in Word, Microsoft Word. Over in the far left, this is a title bar, and you have the floppy disk, which is to save. There is a shortcut, Control S. You have undo, and then repeat or redo. And then if you have the touch screen, the other symbols are draw, and I'll show you how to do this print and preview and spelling. You may not have this on yours, but I'll show you how to add it. Over on the far right, you have the ribbon display options, which we'll discuss. And like any website that you open or any software program you open, you'll always have minimize. It's in maximize right now, so you could restore it. That just makes it smaller. And then your close. Immediately below the title bar is your ribbon bar, and the default is the Home tab. The File one is the only one that doesn't change the ribbon. It takes you back to what they call Backstage area, and that's where you want to either save, share, or print. I'm going to go back to the document. Under the tab, which is the default tab, everyone's always opens to the Home tab. This is probably the most useful where you'll use what's under called the ribbon. The options there, they're broken up into groups. So this is the clipboard group, and then you have the font group, everything that's related to changing the font, whether it's the size, the style, the color, italic, bold, so forth. Paragraph, anything that has to do with, do you want to add bullets, single space, double space, centered, left align, that's all within the paragraph. And you have styles, and the last group is called editing, and this all relates to the Home tab. If I click the Insert tab, the ribbon changes, and every category or group is broken up into something that has to do with inserting. And again, if you want to check the other ones, the ribbon changes to go with the category that you've selected. So I'll go back to the Home tab. Immediate below it, I have a ruler that's on, and yours may not be on right now, but I will show you that later on how to turn the ruler on and off. If you look down at the bottom, the far left, it should say page 1 of 3, and there's 1026 words, and then there's a book icon and there's an X in it. The book icon has to do with spelling, spell check, and if you were to scroll down in the document, you may see some words that are in red. And that would indicate that there's a spelling error. Not necessarily a spelling error, because that's just an abbreviation. It is actually correct. But generally, the rule is if there's an X, there's some type of misspelling. It doesn't recognize names of individuals either. It's only so large, the spelling check in Microsoft Word. On the far right, you have what's called Read Mode, Print Layout, and then web layout, and then the zoom if you want to make it smaller or larger, and we'll get into that later. And at the far right, you have a scroll bar, and it's a bar, and if you reach over with your mouse, you can drag to move it up. So let's talk a little bit more about inside the document itself. If I were to start typing and I have the flashing, they used to call it cursor or insertion point. That's where if you were to type, the text would go. If you wanted it after the word content and I point with the mouse, it's an I-beam. If I start typing, it's actually going to type where the cursor is, the flashing insert. This is just my mouse. If I want to type text here, I have to actually click here and then I could type. So make sure you're in the exact location before you start adding text. So your mouse is, you move it around, but where you're actually flashing is where content would be typed. So they call this an I-beam because it looks like the capital letter I. And as you move it around in the document, you would just click wherever you want to add a word or change something. When you bring it up to the ribbon, it changes to an arrow. And as you hover over different content in the ribbon, if there's a shortcut available, it'll give you the shortcut in parentheses, but it'll also tell you what this action does. So it's bold, and it'll make your text bold. Italic, the shortcut is Control I, and it'll italicize your text, and so forth. Underneath in the home ribbon, the home tab, we talked about the different groups, but there's a little arrow next to them. And if you click that, it's a long name. It's called Insert Dialog Box Launcher, and it actually launches all of those options that are in the ribbon, but more detailed. And you get a little preview in this area here if you were to change the font type, the font style, the size, the color, and so forth. You would get a sample of it here. So I'll exit out of here. So next we're going to discuss about selecting text. So if you were to hover over the word people and you want to select it, you don't have to have the mouse exactly in front of the P in people. If you just hover anywhere in the middle of the word and you hold the left mouse and start dragging, the system knows to select the whole word. So if I were to select two words, unique addresses, and I started in the middle of unique, and when I drag, it knows that I want from the beginning of the word to the end. So just hover and drag. If you wanted a specific word, just hover over the word and double click. Just hover over the word and double click. If you were to triple click, it would be the whole paragraph. Triple click is the whole paragraph, double click is a word. Now, this is within the document. If you hover over to the left, which is called the selection area, if I'm pointing at one line and just click, it selects just that one line. So point at any one line and it selects that line. I can also hold and drag, or if I double click out here, it's the whole paragraph. If I triple click out here in the selection area, it's the whole document, all 3 pages. And why would you select the entire document? Let's say you wanted to change all of the text style or size. You would select everything and change it all at once. Now there's another place to find where you can select all, and it's over in the far right. So if I chose select, there's the option to select all, and there is a shortcut, Control A. So I could select all, or I could hold the Control and press the letter A, and I've selected all 3 pages. And then I could change the font. So when you're navigating through the document, I'm just scrolling down with the mouse wheel. But if I wanted to, I could hover over the scroll bar and just drag it down. And as I'm dragging down, I have a key that tells me that I'm on page 2, browsing web pages. And then when I'm on 3, it'll change to now I'm on page 3. Now I could also use the mouse and just drag slowly with the up arrow, or the opposite, the down arrow, and go down the document. Or if I just click anywhere in it and not actually use the scroll bar, I can just click and it just randomly moves up like a half a page each time. So you can just actually click in here. Some people do lean on the scroll and just drag down. The other thing you can do if you're at the end of the document, if I were to hold Control and press Home, the home key in the navigation area next to insert, it'll take me to the very beginning at navigating the web. Underneath the word home is the key that spells out end, E-N-D. If I hold Control End, it would take me to the end of the document, page 3. So home and end. And there's also a page up, and that moves by half pages. If I used Control Page Up, it would move to the whole page. So half a page or the whole page. Control Page Up and Page Down. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning. Control Home, and I'm right at the top again. So we're going to open up different windows that appear either on the left hand or the right hand side of the screen. So if you choose Find over on the far right, it'll open what's called a navigation area. And there's three options. So I'm going to click headings. And what it does is it shows the main heading and then the subheadings. So if I wanted to get to search engines real quick, I just click it. And it takes me right to search engines. I want to go to IPs and URLs, it'll take me right to it. So I can navigate through the document using the headings and subheadings. It's almost like an outline. Pages, if you click pages, it's little mini thumbnails of the pages. So right now I'm on, you can see the blue around it, I'm on page 1. You can click page 2, page 3, and so forth. Results is if you wanted to look up a particular word. So if I clicked in the search document and I typed the word website, it shows me that there are 7 results with the word website. Underneath here it shows me in what paragraphs they fall. If you actually look in the document, they're highlighted in yellow everywhere the word website appears. You can also use this down arrow to scroll down to each result and keep looking at all of them. And then to exit, I'll just click exit the word website search and go back to headings. If this navigation was not showing, or if you wanted to close out, you click the X. Again, if you want to see it, you would click find, and there it is. I'm going to get rid of it. If you notice, when I hovered over find, there was a shortcut. So if I press Control F, it opens it up. I'll just close the search results. Let's say I close it again. Like I said, in Word, there's multiple ways to do one thing. So I could just click the magnifying glass. I could use Control F, or I could choose View and then Navigation Pane. I'll put a check here and it turns it on. But I'll turn it off for now.